What is up, comic family? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Sunday. That means this is at week's end. We're about to take a spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and pop culture, and it's been a great week. I'm looking forward to diving into a lot of this stuff. But before we do that, let's check this out. Let's bring in our co-hostesses with the mostesses. We'll start off with my heterosexual life partner from the Great White North, the one, the only, the 1,000 plus subscriber Comic Army Strong, Chris the Comic Vet. What is up, brother?
I'm having a bad day.
Oh man, no. Your football team had a bad day. You're having a great day. You're right where you're supposed to be. We will follow you and take care of you. We'll make sure you get through this.
All right.
That's why I try to come in strong with all that positivity to remind you. I knew what direction this was going to go for you.
Yeah.
Let's shine some more light on the situation, some green light, as a matter of fact. Hailing from the next universe over from Sector 2815, we have Mr. Paul Cook. What is happening?
I am doing well. So this is going to be this episode is going to be called The Comic Vet, One Bad Day.
I was going to say Paul's in Brighter Day and Chris is in Black.
Epic. Epic. Oh, yes. Can we just not have like Tom King write it, because then it will last forever? Or at least give it a Chip Zdarsky writer, because at least then he'll like have these with it, turn it into a black comedy at least then, or a dark comedy, whatever you want to call it.
Well, in all sincerity, guys, I do want to start off the show with some community announcements real quick. So first off, let's like DJ Link says, let's pay the bills. A shout out to the channel sponsor, Big Time Collectibles. If you haven't checked them out, you're missing out on some awesome stuff. They got a little bit of everything, so there's probably something there that you'll really love. Check them out at bigtimecollectibles.com. They sponsor the channel's giveaway, the monthly giveaway for the channel membership program. So be sure to hit that join button, get in on the action, follow them on all their social medias. And if you need anything clean to press, definitely give my friend Justin a chance. He can definitely hook you up. You can find him over on Instagram. The link to Justin and Big Time Collectibles is in the description of all the videos. Be sure to let him know you found him via the channel, or hit him with the promo code We Are Legion and take advantage of the special offer that he's got for the channel watchers. And then I do want to add, our boy Chris over here been rocking with us since way back when. He's recently passed that first epic milestone, that 1,000 subscriber mark. He did a big celebration this past Wednesday, and an announcement over on his Instagram. So if you're not subscribed to him, you pretty much lost your mind. And if you don't follow him on Instagram, you miss out on when he's doing stuff as well. You know, I know YouTube can get bogged down when you follow and subscribe to so many channels. But if you want to not miss out on stuff, you can always double down and follow someone on Instagram, because we do try to post not just Instagram stuff, but announcements for YouTube over there as well. He did start his channel membership as well. The Comic Army is firing off. Of course, we're all in there. The America chapter holding it down. The foundation of Canada, America. If you look at a globe, we are literally the foundation.
It's true. America is literally holding Canada up. Sure. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, and then also another thing I want to point out, Alan Rue, aka the Comic Viking, has a fantastic channel as well. He's got a few hundred subscribers. Mike Becker does shows with him, but he's been trying to find something to do special, and he's found something awesome. He did it already last month. It's called the Viking Book Club. And I mean, book club's a book club, but where's this one any different? Well, for one, they're weighing in on the community of what to read every month. This month in January, they're focusing on Kingdom Come. 4 issues, Kingdom Come. And the first week of February, they'll go live for a hangout discussion. And where this is vastly different is these are all absolute lovers of not just comics, but this community. Like if whether you've read it or haven't read it, if you're curious, it's the place you want to be. You don't have to have read it to go over there and have a blast. So be sure to check out the Comic Viking. And if you are interested in reading Kingdom Come beforehand, it's available in numerous places. Kingdom Come, they've got it on the DC Universe app. You can do a free trial for this month and give it a shot and read a ton of stuff while you're there. If you have that library app, or go to the library digital website called Hoopla, Hoopla, you can do it that way. Or this book's normally in libraries in general. But you can also find it at Barnes & Noble's. Most comic book shops keep them in stock. It's a book that never goes out of style. So be sure to check out the Comic Viking and come jump in on the phone with that as well. Now I'm out of breath. Let's say hey to the chat. What is going on? TM Nerdy jumped in here quick and early. Throwing those custom emojis, you get access to those from joining the channel membership. He's just going to put this out there, and we're going to come back and get it when we get to it. What is going on, Burt Family 54 Comics? How are you? Trev, the shipping guru, is in the building. Sup, Chris? Thank you, Steve. This is Superman. This is a Superman shirt from the book Kingdom Come. You check it out. Fantastic read. Viking
Old Man Superman. Yeah.
Old Man Superman. Exactly.
Old Man Superman.
Yeah. You don't want none of that guy. He's jaded. Hello, my beautiful homies. Hello, Durs. I didn't get to sit there and interact because the wife was coming home getting the kids ready, but I had your live stream playing for most of the background, despite the fact you talking about sports so much. You got the watch hours and the view time out of me, my friend. Fantastic.
It was great. It was great.
How many Superman shirts do you own, Mark? Well, I bought this one to promote the hell out of your show. Like, that's why I went and bought this one. And because, for being honest, I'm a size up than I used to be.
It's no fun getting old.
No, but I own a lot of Superman shirts. I've got a Jim Lee one. I've got the Death of Superman one from when I went to Six Flags, a regular S, a green shirt with an S, the Kingdom Come, the electric blue. It's Superman. You should have
the Cavill S.
The Cavill S ripped. Emma actually bought me a Man of Steel shirt when that movie first came out. No, it ripped up here on the shoulder a long time ago. Yeah, it just wore out at the seam because I wore it to death. But yeah, perfect answer. Infinite, Beckerman. Infinite. What is up? Comics by the Bay is in the building. No shots for me, Chris. I know how it feels to root for a team that feel like they never can get to the big game. K-State has been so close for years in football and basketball, but nothing.
That's actually a shot, but okay.
Yeah. So I feel like he said the Bills.
But he used his left hand. He used his left hand.
Collecting with Durs, throwing those channel emojis. Hell yeah. DJ Links is in the building doing the same thing. Steven C., what is going on, my good friend? How are you? Katie BM, awesome to see you. What is up? What is up? Got my trade coming this week. Yeah, I saw where Durs had ordered his, so I'm excited for him to jump on there and discuss it. Dude, I'm excited for you to read it. It'll be his first read through it ever. So it's
just wait till Shazam shows up, my man. Wait till Shazam shows up.
Dude. No. No spoilers. No spoilers. Yeah. Kingdom Come is available for me to read in my collection. LOL. Perfect. Yeah, and I know Steve's a fan. He's got the same short box, the Kingdom Come short box. Yeah. So again, Steve, this shirt is from Kingdom Come. This is the Superman S. Oh, absolutely, Beckerman. I believe in what y'all are doing, so I am going to push it 1,000%. What is going on? Robert's in the building. Flash 792. Hello. Collecting with Durs. And Chris, we knew you might be feeling a little down today. Not picking on you or anything. Just know how it goes. So I reached out. And I tried to find a support system close and near to you. And we found one. And they're here. I ride with the chat always, LOL. Phil, what is going on, my friend? How are you? Phil, you need to hit me up on Instagram. Thank you for the schmeckles. Have a good night. I love you. I will have fun.
Call your friends and say hey.
Kyle says hey to everybody.
Hey, Kyle.
Hello.
I didn't mean it as a shot, Chris. Honestly,
it's funny he says it. My number one favorite team is the Buffalo Bills.
Today, Kyle. This is the
number
day
2 would be the Leafs. Then 3 would be like the Blue Jays.
So if you're backstage, pop your camera on for 1 second for me. You can pop it back off after that. But gotta see the man backstage. All right, and you're also muted. And if you want to unmute yourself, we'll bring in our guest. The Canadian support system, the one, the only, TM Nerdy.
He's not a Bills fan. This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea.
This backfired. Now, what is going on, TM? I know that no, me and TM have been talking about the books that have dropped this week a lot this week, and we know that Ryan is still getting caught up on life with work and the brand new baby. All is well on the home front over there. So I'm like, dude, let me reach out to TM. This was last minute. Like, let me reach out to TM, see if he wants to guest host with us tonight. It'd be a blast. So, welcome.
Thanks
TM.
for inviting me.
Absolutely. Despite you bringing that shirt, we're not here to hurt Chris. We're here to heal Chris. Is that who they played?
No. It's who they could have played.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Phil, hit me up on IG. Like months. This is from like at least, God, weeks ago now. Weeks ago. Yeah, you won something weeks ago. I think I still have it. Yeah, no one else won it. You won it. Just pop it in and say, hi, I've got to go watch The Last of Us. I'll be watching that after this stream because, it's an app, Drac. You can just turn it on whenever you want. Do y'all have...
No, we don't.
Y'all don't have access to it yet?
No. He may be able to, if he has HBO, he may be able to restart it and or watch it from a different time zone. But no, it's not an app unless he has Crave on his phone.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I remember when Peacemaker came out, it didn't take but a couple of episodes for that show to blow up and them to find some way to watch it over the border. The zebras.
Yeah.
So y'all ready to dive into it? Any announcements, any news from the comic book industry, anything that came out, caught your attention?
I think
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think Todd might be actually done in Sarasota. I think
Todd Pollard?
Yeah, I think the McFarlane signing at CGC may be officially complete.
Oh, is he still there doing signings?
Yeah, like he did most of it, or he did half of it before Christmas, and now he went back last week and some of this week to get it all finished up. So
that's been a long time.
I have my book coming back then.
Are you still been waiting on yours?
Yeah, but mine was literally like arrived the last day. So I was like, I had no preconceived notion that I was going to be getting mine back right away. So I'm hoping I get mine back, say, by March break.
You want to talk about what you sent in?
Well, I'm going to save that for content, but I will say this. I actually sent in an ASM and a 9.8. So I didn't crack it or nothing. I sent it to them. So I'm hoping that it comes back in the 9.8, or you're going to see like ranting vet like of a whole new level.
They went too far on those Todd social media videos.
Yeah.
Took them too long to get it all done. Hey, I usually avoid this show because of the spoilers, but I'm all caught up on everything, baby. Bring Chip back. Yeah, what is going on? Dr. Von Hoot is in the building. Hello. So one thing that I do want to talk about that I've been following the Flash film closely. I'm very excited. #Justice for Ezra, all that good stuff. But I'm just kidding. I am excited about the film. So we've been getting some promo leaks and stuff. So check this out. We got this clean shot of his upcoming costume. We got Michael Keaton Batman on there. We have our, what's her name? Sasha? What's the actress's name? No one knows. We got Supergirl. Yeah, I don't either. Chris, do you know her name?
No, I don't.
I don't remember it either. But if you look down here next to TM Nerdy, we get our first decent shot of the second Barry Allen that's in the movie in the costume, where they took Batman's old costume and spray painted it red. It looks like they're even making joke of the neck not being able to turn with it and stuff.
Yeah, that's
cut off bat ears. It's pretty funny. I think it's pretty funny. They'll be looks like they'll be playing into that joke.
I gotta admit, when I saw the Mark, put it back up for a sec. When I saw this, not to diminish it, but I thought it was just fan art. I thought this was like just fan art, like not even of what's that dude that does those like wannabe movie posters? Yeah, like
I think it might be fan art, but it's like a fan who's like associated with the movie, I believe. Okay. Not really. It's from like these are actual images that they're pieced together in this photo. If that makes sense.
So it is fan art.
Yeah, so these are actual images just pieced together into one photo by Flash Film News on Twitter.
And her name is Sasha Kelly.
Kelly, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited for her. There's looks like we're going to be getting a scene like multiversal stuff here with Flash, a scene with her and Michael Shannon, Zod. Obviously I'm expecting this to be small scenes here and there, but Michael Shannon is like fantastic. Also, another
terrific as Iceman.
Yeah, and I was talking about the serial killer for the mob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
one of my favorite movies of the year. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he crushed that role. And another thing, toys always spoil everything first. And spoiling is a rough word, but you always see stuff with toys first. And we talked about toys not long ago. Yeah, we sure did, didn't we?
Thanks, Funko. Thanks, Lego.
It was a day, Lego. But this is standard movie toys. I don't know who the maker is. It's not the Funkos or the McFarlanes, which there will be McFarlane figures for this film as well, which will be obviously highly detailed and all that. But we did get our first look at the Dark Flash in that little spoiler leaked image right there. So the Dark Flash is confirmed, and it looks like they're do you remember the Dark Flash from, it was like Iris's little brother or something in the New 52 era, where he was like the corrupted Flash with like the spikes on him and stuff?
Who he does look like. Put that back up again.
Yes, sir.
You guys remember the tag team, the Road Warriors from back in the day? Yeah. That looks like Animal. Yeah, the Legion of Doom in the
house.
Yeah.
Stoked for this movie. Evening, Poke and Joe. How's it going? They're still making this movie. Is Ezra still in it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they actually believe heavily in this movie. They've moved it up, all kinds of stuff. This movie is going to make people mad how fun it's going to be. Flash movie is going to change the game. I believe so too.
And then honestly believe it's all just going to go away.
Yeah, but it's going to go away in a blaze of glory. What is going on? El Green Machine in the building. Paul, what are your thoughts on the Dark Flash being in the movie? The two different Barry Allens, the bat suit, Keaton, all that.
I'm stoked to see as many references to as many different parts of DC history as can possibly be put into the movie. You can't put too much in the movie for me.
TM, where you at?
Now, I'm not that, like, all I know about the Dark Flash is from like the Flash TV show. I've never caught up like on that era of the Flash and stuff. So like when this Dark Flash comes out, like, is he trying to clean up the timeline or no, not like
it's going to be a Barry from an alternate world where the negative Speed Force is corrupting him, is what I'm assuming. Like, it's just a Barry in a different world that if he plays out long enough as the Flash, it just poisoned him, basically. You know what I mean? We won't know till we know, but that's what it's looking like. Yeah, it was the New 52's reverse Flash. They didn't want to do an Eobard Thawne. They wanted to do something new, so they used Iris's little brother. I think it was like Dan West or Danny West or something like that. Yeah, what's a Flash? Yeah, there it is. Daniel West.
Usually on top of a camera.
Yeah. Keaton is all that matters, people. But this is not the zombie Flash. That's a completely different thing.
I'm excited to see him, and that mean there'd be 3 different Flashes in the movie?
At least.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot darker than we expect it to be, so I'm pumped to see it, and I'm definitely going to go see it in theaters opening night.
Yeah, I'll be there as well. Can't wait.
Even though I'm not a huge fan of Ezra Miller.
I'm hoping that. So the first time we had the whole idea of a crossover was Crisis on Infinite Earths done via television, and that was just a handful of years ago. And I thought that was a really good event, considering that it was just television quality. You know, we got to see Routh come back as Superman, and I thought he did a really good job because he was good as Superman. He just had a poor script.
They just subbed him out to Lex Luthor too soon.
Right. The truth is, that was painful. John Cryer showed up. I'm like, what? Routh gets 15 minutes? Anyways, I hope they seriously level up from that and that it follows that same type of flavor. Because if we're going to get Affleck and Keaton on the same screen, I hope that there's even just a flash of Christopher Reeve as Superman somewhere. They don't necessarily have to have him speak. It could literally just be him flying over as Barry Allen runs through different universes.
So it's pretty much confirmed. Like, if you look at the promo stuff leak, they show one image of the Flashes running with the multiverse around them, and that's where they're doing most of their Easter eggs, I guess. Yep. And you see Christopher Reeve from here up in one of the multiverse images. So I think that's pretty much all we're going to get for it. Right. But that'll be more than enough for me.
People that spend time with your channel that have seen me out, they know how I feel about Cavill. So I'm hoping at least Cavill has a speaking appearance in this. If they don't, they've kind of done the whole thing dirty. Because if they're going to have Affleck and Ezra Miller, you got to give the rest of the Justice League that we all know over the last, say, 10 years. Gal Gadot should make an appearance. Yeah.
Supposedly, Cavill and Gal Gadot both filmed scenes, but they cut them.
Mm-hmm.
They cut them.
Man. Here we go again. Wait for the director's cut.
Yeah, well, I think what they're having to do is they're not cutting them for their scenes being this or that. They're cutting them for whatever creative direction needs. I think they're smart enough, I really do, to use this movie to lead into the next. Yeah, like there's no way they're just going to start over. We know they're not doing a fresh start over from ground zero. This movie has to have room to transition us into a post Flashpoint movie, whatever that's going to look like. I'm excited for it, dude. I'm sad to see Henry Cavill go. I'm a diehard Snyder Cut fan or Snyder Film Universe fan, but I recognize that it wasn't getting DC where DC needs to be to continue. You know, it's unfortunate, but that it is what it is. And I'm excited for Snyder's Rebel Moon. I'm excited to see what Cavill's going to do with Warhammer 40K. I'm glad these people's careers aren't done. I mean, I enjoyed Snyder before he did Man of Steel. You know, I loved Watchmen. I loved 300. I loved his remake of Dawn of the Dead when it came out. I've been a fan of his work since the first Dawn of the Dead that he did. Like, I was in theaters watching that.
Yeah, it was terrific, actually.
It was. I'd never seen zombies do that before till then.
Ving Rhames was very underappreciated in that film.
Superman is from Kansas, and according to Frank Miller, Clark Kent went to the same college as me and had the same major. Well, then what's your excuse, Steve? Look what he's done with his life.
And he's that Superman at that, so he's juggling his career and saving the world.
Yeah. What are you trying to say, Steve? I'm assuming Flash dies then. Warhammer is going to be great for Henry. That's a diehard fan base. Yeah. Yeah.
Been around a long time.
Yeah, we've seen some diehard fan bases really come out of the woodworks in the past couple years.
And
Star Wars fan
supposedly is a diehard Warhammer fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like deep diehard.
Yep. Yeah, he may run himself broke buying those figures and stuff.
Yeah. But besides that, there was also our friend James Gunn caused some stories because he posted a picture on Twitter doing a little breakfast reading, and he was reading All-Star Superman.
All-Star Superman, yeah. And he also made an announcement that he's potentially planning on bringing the cast members that he works with on a regular basis with the Guardian projects over to DC, which not surprising, not shocking, and I'd love to see it. Not like a competition thing, but it's always fun when directors work with those reoccurring actors and stuff because that relationship they have with them, it tends to work out in the favor of the movie and the audience. And another big thing that I saw is it looks like Tron 3 has finally been greenlit all these years later, which I'm not going to complain about the wait. If one thing we've learned in 2022, waiting helps sometimes. It brings out a better product. But it looks like Jared Leto might be looking to front run the movie, which I know people have mixed feelings about him. As long as he's not a superhero, though, I think he can do all right. That seems to be the arena he fails in.
He has definitely been snake bitten with some of the movies he's been
in. I was so excited. Then they said Jared Leto. I'm like, God. Like, he's such a great actor with a proper script that fits him and everything. But, man, to have to be excited for something to listen to people just take those free jokes. The whole time you're waiting on it to come out, like it's just going to beat me down. Last thing I really got in the movie news is, in case you were wondering, which I know that all of you were, Avatar is sitting at $1.97 billion. So I was expecting it to cross the 2 billion mark. It's very little bit away from it. It's clearly going to, but it hasn't done it yet. It's right on the precipice. So that's big. That movie's freaking huge. Hasn't been out. Hasn't been out a month and a half, and it's almost about to hit 2 billion.
On the TV side, I don't know if you saw this, but we were talking about this last week. We were talking about Velma. I don't know if you've seen, but Velma has a 6% Rotten Tomatoes from an audience standpoint. It is basically the lowest animated rated on Rotten Tomatoes ever. No, sorry, on IMDb.
Ever.
The lowest. It has a 1.3 out of 10 on IMDb. It is the third lowest rated series on IMDb and the lowest animated rating.
Is it Velma from Scooby-Doo?
People are not warming up to Velma.
Mindy came and wrote of Velma from Scooby-Doo animated TV show for HBO Max in the style and tone of Harley Quinn, but with all of her personal convictions at the end of a baseball bat. And she does this the whole time you watch it. Just hits you over the head with all of her personal convictions.
Is it greenlit for season 2 already?
I think so. I saw that news this week too, that they're looking at season 2 already. So I think what happened with it is all, any press is good press kind of thing. All these people like complaining about this and that got people curious. They at least went and watched an episode or two. I watched the first episode out of sheer curiosity. Velma, not from Scooby-Doo.
At first, I thought you said Wilma. And I'm like, what? Did
exactly.
Fred and Wilma break up?
It's just off.
Velma.
Like the comedy just doesn't land. There's some of it that it seems like it could be funny, but it's just the show it's weird, man. Like I said it last week, it feels like she made it just for her 7 friends, and that's it. It seems like it's.
Which is funny because the show that you said it stylized itself from is incredible. Harley Quinn is just so much fun.
Harley Quinn's great.
Whether you're a DC fan or not,
it's a generic white boy. Daphne is Asian. Shaggy is a black guy. And Velma and Daphne are like making out in the show, and like it's just weird. There's naked kids in the school locker room in the opening scene of it. It's just like you feel awkward watching. Like why did you think that this was something you should draw? Why did you think this is something you should write? Why did they allow this? Like, I mean, at a different time maybe, but like we're more socially aware now that we don't need to be having naked children on stuff. Like that's not appropriate, right? I'm assuming it's not. It's not in my house.
How's She-Hulk look now, everybody?
About the same as Velma.
Ms. Marvel.
A show that I did check out that just dropped on Netflix on Thursday was That 90s Show.
Oh, a lot of people were excited about that. Was it good?
I liked it. It felt like the 90s, and it gave like a little bit of like a respect to like that 70s show. Every character came back except for like a few, like the guy that replaced Eric at the end for season 8. He didn't come back. Of course, Stephen Hyde didn't come back because of reasons. And then the sister wasn't mentioned at all. But everybody else came back.
Danny Masterson is the one you're talking about, right? He's the actor.
Yeah.
He's basically in the court battle right now, so that's why I didn't
canceled.
Someone got canceled who was on that show?
Canceled.
Okay. Is Topher Grace in it? Wasn't he the main star of that 70s show?
Yeah, he shows up.
He's in it, yeah.
But they're only guest starring, like Red and Kitty, like those two are like full like lead cast members. They're in every episode.
Oh, nice.
It dropped all 10 episodes. It does kind of feel like the 90s, gives you that kind of 90s feel, but that plays respect. But the best character that showed up, I'd have to say, look forward to is Tommy Chong made an appearance.
Oh, very cool. Now, did they do that 80s show, or did they just jump straight from 70s to 90s?
It wasn't that 80s show on Fox. It was half a season that just tanked.
Yeah, it had that guy that was in, end up going on to that Sunny in Philadelphia. Like he was the lead in that. He was was the brother off of. I don't watch that. He ends up going AP Bio, the lead.
Glenn Howard. Yeah, Glenn Howard.
He was the lead in that 80s show.
Yeah, he plays Dee's brother, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Did Ashton Kutcher return?
Yep.
Yeah, well, he's not really doing much.
Y'all want to get into some books? I know Travis
has
a lot to say about one of them.
The DC and Marvel solicitations came out.
I didn't know that.
Not really a lot of changes, but one thing I know you'll be interested in is in April, DC is doing a whole bunch of Superman variants because April will be the 85th anniversary of Action Comics #1.
Yeah, I did see where someone put up an Instagram post with Superman wearing like an all-white suit that looked like it was almost made out of light with just the S colored in, and it said from Superman, The Lost Day, coming out this April or something like that.
Yep. But a lot of the individual titles will have a special Superman variant. And then on the Marvel side, they have a whole bunch of more of the Alex Ross timeless variants, the villains.
Yeah, I've got all of those. I think all of them now. There was like 32 plus one per store that they did for the hero ones. I think there's like 32 or 33 I have pre-ordered through Big Time Collectibles.
Yeah, the Goblin looks good.
Yeah, a lot of them look good.
The Master doing the Master things.
Well, what's on the top of y'all's reading list for this week? Let's start strong, Chris. I see you got books in hand. What do you got?
All right. I'm just going to show what I picked up at my LCS Retro Rocket Comics. I picked up this variant. This probably hits home with everyone. The Nightwing.
Oh, that's super
George
cool.
Perez one.
Yeah.
This one's going into my monthly subscriber giveaway. I'm going to put that in the pile right there for that. My hot pick was this bad boy. I'm looking forward to talking to this one with Mark.
That was your top pick?
That was my hot pick.
Oh, hot pick. Okay.
Hot pick. I somehow fluked my way into this, $80 bulk all of a sudden?
That's right. That is a hot book. Yeah.
We'll be giving that one away live tonight. Don't go anywhere, people.
Oh. You are?
I didn't get one. I'm just going to use your copy.
Okay. Okay. My candidate for cover of the week. This is pretty good. Pretty good. Deadpool 3. Venom 15.
I just got both of those in the mail. Some exclusives that I ordered for those.
House of Slaughter's new arc has begun.
Where's his hand?
Well, if you read House of Slaughter.
I didn't. It was terrible.
That first arc, yes. The second arc was really, really good.
Okay.
Really, really good. Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the Taboo miniseries.
That was a cool cover.
Yeah. Marvel's starting strong with Iron Man. Spider-Man The Lost Hunt, which is basically Kraven's Last Hunt 2.0.
Another cool cover.
Mark's hot pick from last week. Look what volcanoes can do. Namor the Submariner. What's it called? Conquered Shores.
This is sketchy. Trev says his LCS had 10 of those Jack Whites for $20 each and sold them before they opened.
And they were open orders, so they basically paid,
Not cool. Not cool. Chris of Retro Rockets sold it to me for cover price.
Mm-hmm.
And how glorious is this cover?
Wow. Yeah.
Art germ. Yeah.
That's wicked. Yeah. That's a solid haul for the week.
Yeah. All right. I think this was 2 weeks ago, though, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have been.
Okay.
I still haven't seen that cover before, though.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to flash through these real quick so y'all can figure out which ones might overlap or stuff. But Hulk 11, the first Ryan Otley written issue. The Bane, One Bad Day. Power Rangers number 4. We'll just go ahead and put that off to the side. It's really good, though. Invincible Iron Man number 2. Black Adam number 7. The Flash 791. That's from last week. Punisher number 9. Monkey Prince number 10. Lazarus Planet Assault on Krypton. And I did pick up the 1 in 25, that iconic image with the S on the volcano. It's kind of been like the branding for the event. Really wanted that. World's Finest number 11. And hold on to your hat, TM. You already know. We got Stargirl up in here. So what do y'all want to hit first? I know there's a lot of overlap with these books. Y'all want to start with Batman One Bad Day?
Let's start with One Bad Day. I don't know how long I can start.
Chris and TM, I'll let y'all start. I know y'all really excited about this one.
So I feel like I'm a little bit more excited about this. First of all, I got to say, I really found the imagery done by Howard Porter kind of felt like Todd McFarlane in the late 80s, early 90s. I felt the artwork was a little bit of that dark Spawn-esque stylized work. However, I thought it was really well done to show a broken man who's basically having serious, like almost CTE problems with just the ramifications of having way too much venom pumped through his body and just not being able to separate real life from flashback events. and that he's basically just become a joke of his former self. However, people are still interested in seeing him, so he has his new life of a professional wrestler. I kind of got like do a powerbomb flavor from this a little bit, if that's the right way to put it. However, I thought it was really well done because I enjoy when they show characters who have problems with flashbacks and that have a hard time separating reality from what's actually happening in front of them. Yeah, it was an interesting deep dive, although Batman not really a character in this other than the last couple of pages. Batman scattered throughout it through the battles that Bane and Batman had, whereas Bane's just basically known for one thing, breaking of the bat. And story kind of starts off after him defeating, a fake Batman in the ring and pretending to break his bat, break his back and sell it to the crowd and everything. And then it flashes forward to where someone is what Bane thought was breaking into his house, but it was someone trying to deliver this brand new Venom that's being created elsewhere, I believe in Mexico and New Mexico or Mexico,
Texas.
Okay. And then Bane decides he's going to take this delivery boy, for lack of a better term, along with him for a road trip to go down and shut down this, illegal facility that's been creating this new Venom. And either way, they looks like Bane kind of got set up, and it goes from there. TM, what did you think?
I liked it. What I got from it, you got the whole the Venom is the one that's affecting him. I think it's just his greatest accomplishment was breaking the Batman's back. Now he has nothing that's gonna heighten that. That he has to go through his whole entire life now knowing that that's the pinnacle of his life. The rest of his life is meaningless, and how depressed he actually has gotten from that. And I like how they play back on that, how that was the best day of his life, but it's also the one bad day. So and then the art, though, I did not like the art as much as you did.
I'm not saying I did like it. I just thought it was something that mirrored.
Yeah, I didn't hear a compliment either.
I did not say that I enjoyed it. No, I'm just saying I thought it was stylized from there. The writing is far better than the artwork that delivers it. Although the artwork does what it's supposed to do. It's just not that crisp, clean stuff that we've been getting from DC lately. And it's actually not even a Black Label book. It bills itself just as a DC type.
So I like that aspect of it's literally showing us that was his bad day, was the best day. And Batman was a character because he was mentioned so much throughout the story that he was the background character in a way. But the art, I looked at Bane sometimes and he kind of looked like Ass Face from Preacher. I was like, oh, okay, no, I don't like the look of this. I think they could have done a lot better with the art. The art did take me out of it couple of times, but some scenes in the art was fan-freaking-tastic. But now at the end we got Bane wanting to get stronger. He still wants to defeat Batman. I feel like at the end he still wants to fight Batman. Batman gave him the out and said get better, and then challenge me later on, not when you're like this. And I guess Bane has his own little sidekick. It's his tag along with him. His boy. So I'm interested in that because then we get more stories from Bane coming forth is what I got from it. And I do like that little shift of how he's becoming one of his own and how he overcame the Venom. In this story, it shows how he overcame it. He was smart before this happened to him, before the Venom got a hold of his brain. And I really like this story, and I recommend it to everybody. It's long though, so make sure to.
Yeah. The underlying narrative is Williamson is really, in my opinion, trying to push Bane forward as an anti-hero now. I'm not going to say to the point of what Venom is in Marvel, but the whole, you got to see this, covert op that Batman and Bane did together to try and take down another Venom manufacturer years before the whole thing, or before the events that we're reading about right now. And we got to see Bane say, well, not only did I defeat Batman then, I defeated him here too, because I was the one that saved the day. And that's where I feel that Williamson did a good job trying to make everyone realize that Bane has a very difficult time separating reality from past events. So they didn't play the whole trauma angle. They kind of played that he's, stuck in a false sense of achievement that was years ago. Like that guy who lives the old high school glory days, even though he's now in his 50s or whatever. Williamson really played that angle up, I thought, pretty well.
Like Al Bundy.
Exactly. Polkai, baby.
Yeah. I thought it didn't rise to the level of what Tom King did with the Riddler. Definitely not. But I did think overall, it was one of the better ones overall, because one, you definitely had a one bad day, which some of the other ones, although they were called One Bad Day, you really couldn't even tell what that was. It's interesting. I thought that the One Bad Day was supposedly his triumph over Batman. But not only that, but that day that he broke the Batman's back has made him a tragic hero in that now he does that as a sideshow every day. He does that in the ring for money now. He breaks the back of these Batman wrestlers.
Jabroni.
So he has fallen so far from where he was, that now he's almost like a joke of who he was now based on that day. So I thought that was an interesting kind of spin on it from Joshua Williamson. I had problems with the art too, but as a quick aside.
Yeah, I was I guess I'm going to be probably the biggest detractor of this book. I did not enjoy it. Brother John touched on something. I've talked to Paul about this already as well. Like, I feel like Joshua Williamson got the assignment, but the delivery was off. And the book was treated like he broke Batman's back and then went down to Mexico to live out the rest of his life. That's not what happened. He took an already spiritually broken Batman, beat up pretty much a handicapped guy in his own house without his tools or anything, broke his back, and then Azrael came and drugged that man. Azrael came and drugged Bane to the point that Nightwing had to stop him from killing him. Bane didn't accomplish nothing. Batman came back and even stopped Azrael and came back for Bane. Like there's no context to the timing, the time that Bane spent from the time he put him over his knee to this book at all. It's like none of it ever happened. And the fact that he killed Alfred, that's really his biggest accomplishment, because that lives with Batman and the entire Bat family every day. And it's even addressed in this book that Batman's like across from him, like, yeah, you killed Alfred. You're not getting away. You're going in. And by the end of the book, he's like, you know what? You killed Alfred. It's cool, man. I'll tell you what, go get on some vitamins, get you an energy drink, hit the gym, do some Diamond Dallas Page yoga. When you feel better, we'll fight, man. It'll be fun. It'll be cool. You'll probably kill a bunch of people between now and then, but that's okay too, because you killed Alfred. Just feel better. I'm like, dude, what am I reading right now? These One Bad Day books have rubbed me the wrong way from issue 2 on. Every single issue you have Batman compromising his entire reason for existing for the sake of these villains. In John Ridley, curse that man's writing, he had Penguin step up to Batman and say, you have to let me go because you can't manage this city without me managing the crime and blah, blah, blah. And Batman's like, you're right. Thank you, Oswald Cobblepot. Please go save the city for me. Like, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, these people are having a hard time. Like, I agree. That was a cool angle to lean into, like, how his best accomplishment is haunting him. There's nothing wrong with that. That was actually pretty good. But the rest of it was just off for me. Those little things like that just, like, stood out. Crazy stood out. I'm like, Batman would never do this. Ever. Like he would go to that hospital room and he put bat cuffs on his ankles, grab that bed and drag it out of there and and take him where he needs to be. He killed Alfred.
I do agree on that aspect too. It was mentioned in there and I just kind of pushed it, like swept it underneath the rug and never like really looked at it. But yeah, there is a point where you have to think like,
he killed Alfred.
He killed Alfred.
He broke the man.
It's your second father in a way. This guy is.
Yes. What would y'all do if you were? Would you be like, hey man, feel better?
Well, you think about it. Bruce Wayne became Batman because of the killing of his parents. So.
It's his whole reason for existing. He's like, no, it's cool. It's cool.
Asking a veteran, do I think I would agree with that? I'm the wrong guy to ask that question.
Exactly. And then on top of that, like I feel like in this, like me and Tim talked about this. He hasn't read all these, but you're seeing the reoccurring trope of Batman having an interaction with these villains in all of them and giving them a pass. And it started with
the Riddler.
No, it started with Tom King's. Remember, the Riddler's like, bro, if you think you're going to touch me right now, 15 people you know and love are going to die before you get a finger on me. I'm about to do it right now. That was the thing. He didn't let Riddler have the leeway. He was forced to give it to him. And even then, people were like, why is he letting Riddler do this? And he wasn't. He was just having to find out how to get ahead of him.
On the very last page, though, there was a second interaction, and that's where it mirrors the original one, where you don't know if he killed the Riddler or not. The same way where
with the Joker,
the killing joke, you don't know if he killed the Joker or not.
I disagree. All of these combined still pale in comparison to the Killing Joke.
Oh yeah,
which this is all supposed to be a spin-off from.
That's why I'm saying, like, what these are meant to be. Like, Chris, you went heavy into this when we reviewed the Riddler. These are all meant to be the Killing Joke for each of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy task to live up to. Alan Moore wrote the Killing Joke. There's not very many writers that write on that level.
And the Killing Joke has been dissected for decades now.
Yeah, whether you like them or not, Tom King does write on that level in those style of books. That's why his book seemed to have crafted and created a unique Riddler. You know, he went into Riddler's past like we went into the Joker's past and told stories about it that we haven't seen or heard yet that helped give us a better understanding of how we see these characters now. None of the other ones really did that. Mr. Freeze touched on him and his wife's relationship a little bit in a new light, but overall, the book just didn't have that gravitas. Joshua Williamson is a fantastic writer for mainstream continuity stuff, really. He did great with Rogues, but I just don't think he created... No one's going to go back to this in a year from now and be like, hey, did you read that Bane book? It redefined the character.
Brother John touched on something there, that Secret Six. Now, that's where I think he's absolutely correct. Now, Gail Simone is the one that handled Secret Six, and she did Bane, I thought, in a beautiful way. And as I finished that book, I kind of thought of that because Ken Lashley was the one that was doing the artwork for that, and that's how I got hooked into it. I thought, I wonder how different this would be if Gail Simone was the writer that handled Bane's One Bad Day, because it's because of the Secret Six, the whole Catman and Bane interaction I thought was excellent. And again, I feel like I'm probably the one that's holding this book up the highest on this panel, but still, I got to be honest, that thought went through my head, and I'm glad that Brother John pointed out. If Gail Simone was the writer, how different would this be? Would it be where like there would be no anti-hero to this at all? It would be just this broken down villain that's now living day to day because he's broke, even though somehow he's living in the mansion. Yeah. Again, Howard Porter, like, your artwork should be a little bit better for that book.
Yeah, it reminded me of Cale New. You know how Cale New's artwork has almost like a, what did I describe it as, Paul? Like it has a geometrical shape in it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yep, yeah.
How it looks like the characters are made out of geometrical shapes sometimes. Like it's like not straight, smooth lines. It's kind of, it reminded me a lot of that. But the faces were super inconsistent. And there was one of them that was just crazy of Batman. And as those wrestling panels, they were almost impossible to look at when they did those little microscopic panels, like 50 panels on one page.
Yeah,
I'm like, I was gonna skip those, but
did they borrow from Something Is Killing the Children there? Like,
look at that. What is that? What is that? I'm not sure what that is. Like, I don't know. But some of them are dope. Like this one, that was a great shot. Mm-hmm. But then you turn the page and that'll pretty much like give you a seizure.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. And then you can't really follow along. Like, which way am I supposed to be going with this? And that wasn't even the worst one. They did that with little micro.
No, there was one that went down to like a JPEG.
Yeah,
like,
here it is.
Tiny. Yeah,
that's the hell?
Like that's bad editing.
They're like,
that's on the editor.
Howard, we're going to give you 80 pages. Howard said, challenge accepted.
100-page story and 80. Make it work.
Yeah.
Done.
All right. Well, I don't want to beat this book to.
Yeah,
I don't regret reading it, I guess. Maybe I do. I don't know. Only got 2 more, right, guys? 3 more. Ra's al Ghul, Clayface, and Catwoman.
Catwoman's this week, is she not?
Right. Yeah. It actually was supposed to come out before Bane, but it got pushed back, so it's coming out this week.
What's up, Tricky Troutster?
They should have gave it to Cliff Jang. I'm telling you all right now.
This is G. Willow Wilson, I think, is the one who's doing writing Catwoman.
Well, That book has a lot to live up to, considering what we got with Lonely City from Cliff Jang doing Catwoman.
Yeah, Flo.
And what would her bad day be? Like, come on, like,
she have one? I think Tom King already did that with Batman Catwoman, the 12-issue series. Like that was it. Yeah. That was it. We've had Catwoman's one bad day. Ugh.
All right. Did you guys want to do what volcanoes look like? Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's do Stargirl.
I want to give TM1. I know he's excited.
Ooh, Paul picked it up.
I'm loving Stargirl. I'm sad that it's only going to be 6 issues, but I'm loving this series. And that, of course, we start off because Amikio, Red Arrow, got captured in that. So we wake up and we see her in the jail cell talking with the capturer, and we don't get to see them until a little bit later. And it's the child minder.
Yeah, the child minder who's in charge of keeping all these people in check while they're in captivity.
So I'm interested in that. I love the whole fact that they're kind of keeping them, like, from what I felt from the last issue is that the capsules were like keeping them and trying to keep them as trophies. So I'm not sure what they're trying to do in this issue, but they're keeping them. And Red Arrow starts talking to somebody across the wall saying, "You can't get out of here. You can't do it." And we won't find out until later on who that character is. And I just absolutely love the art. The art in this story is absolutely fantastic. And how you get to know some of these Golden Age sidekick characters. Because, like, I didn't know that Robot Man, of course, there was a Golden Age Robot Man until reading these comics and come to find out that he has a cool sidekick, a robot dog. So I'm absolutely loving that as well.
Curveball, they don't. Like, these are all retconned in.
Oh.
So, like, you know how these sidekicks are all lost and no one remembers them? Because they never existed until this book.
Oh, well.
They're going back and they're placing them into history, and they're about to give us a reason why everyone forgot about them. So they're all completely new characters for the most part, I believe. I think there might be one or two in there. Like the Newsboy Legion are in there. Those are absolutely real characters and stuff like that. But most of these sidekicks, like Cherry Bomb is not the human bomb from the Freedom Fighter sidekick. Most of these people did not ever exist. So this is Jeff Johns just having a ridiculous knowledge of DC Comics history and being able to go back in and just create these sidekicks and now explain to us where they've been and why no one knows them. And if you get the one shot, the New Golden Age, in the back of that, it actually spotlights all of them and tells you what their first appearance is, which are not even books that exist.
Correct.
But they treat it all like they are. It's really, really cool.
It's fantastic. Then I love Jeff Johns, and like have the guy that created Stargirl writing Stargirl is fantastic. Okay. He's also overwriting Justice Society of America, which is another fantastic book. It comes out this Tuesday.
Yeah. I love this issue as well. They touched on a lot in this issue. It was mainly a meet and greet issue. You know, we had some of the sidekicks that have gotten free from Childminder, but have not been able to get off this mysterious island that looks like the beaches are lined with Miraclo, Our Man's chemical that he uses to do his thing. They almost have like this Lost Boys vibe. They're hiding out, trying to stay away from all of the security forces that are active on this island, from old school looking robots to flying things, monitoring the flight in the air, just everything. And more and more sidekicks keep getting free and joining the ranks, but none of them are ever there with a solution. And it's looking like they're hoping Stargirl could be the one to change all that.
And like there was a new character that actually showed up, like a new guy who was he's a sidekick of who was it? Was it? I can't think of the name right now, but he was a time traveler.
That was
Rip Hunter.
Rip Hunter shows up at the end with Corky. So those are real characters as well. So those are not characters that are entombed here. Those are the ones responsible for accidentally letting these kids out of their cages. If you go back and read Flashpoint Beyond, where Rip Hunter was trying to keep the Flashpoint universe from existing, and Batman comes in and fights him over it because that's the existence or non-existence of his father on that universe. And the battle that they played with mess with stuff inside of the Time Master's headquarters. One of those things that released these pods, like sleep pods is what it looked like, with all these sidekicks in it. So they were released. They've been in hyper time is where they've been, but they were released from hyper time, and I'm assuming set back on these worlds. So you have somebody that's already manipulating and messing with them, but it looks like Rip and Corky are coming to clean house. So that's the cavalry that just arrived. So you know Rip Hunter from Legends of Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him and his sidekick.
But it wasn't him. It just looked like it was just like he was just there in the background, like as like a character. Like this is who he's the sidekick of. So I don't think he's actually there, is he?
I think it was just Corky. It might have been just Corky. Yeah.
It was just Corky. They did the same thing whenever they showed a lot of the sidekicks. They showed they showed the Guardian behind the Newsboy Legion. They showed Dr. Fate when Salem was there. They showed.
So if Corky just showed up by himself, they're all in trouble. This kid,
right?
He was talking to John Wilkes Booth and accidentally planting seeds of killing Abraham Lincoln a few months ago, when they were just traveling through time. Like, Corky, what are you doing? I told you not to talk to anybody. Remember, stay away from the Ford Theater. Bye. Like, dude, you idiot. You idiot. This kid's trying so hard to do good. He's just, they're in trouble probably if it's just Corky.
I mean, I think it's really interesting. It just shows again, and you kind of started mentioning it about, how Jeff Johns can create this whole history of, 80 years after it has supposedly happened. He's creating this whole history back then with all of these sidekicks and everything. And all of the like the who's pages that you said, were there too. He, it's not just, hey, it's a one-off, and he's got whole detailed things on exactly all these people. The one that we didn't see was the Red Lantern.
Red Lantern.
Yeah.
I was watching for Red Lantern as well. The daughter of a villain from Alan Scott back in an issue that never existed.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely genius.
He's got 3 more issues though, so.
Yeah, 3 more issues, and as well as I expect this in some way, somehow, probably before it's over, tie into the events that are happening over at Justice Society of America as well. I don't feel like there's a chance in hell that it won't. Obviously, both of these titles are stemming out of the events of Flashpoint Beyond that he wrote. He's just crafting some fantastic stuff right now. Chris, what you got?
The art is freaking fantastic in the book as well by Todd Knock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know he's another one that's real hit or miss with some people. I think it lends perfectly to these characters with this old-timey style to him as well, where it looks modern but almost intentional. Lazarus Planet. TM, are you up to speed on Lazarus Planet?
I read, because it has, short little stories in it, and I've caught up on the first 3, and that the last one being with...
You're done then. Perfect. You read all you needed to read.
Okay, that was the ending with Lex Luthor and his...
with Mercy.
Mercy Graves.
Yeah, the final story was with Power Girl, and it was just a waste-off instead of a one-off. But yeah, Chris, did you read all these yet? Are you flipping through?
Yeah, I went through them. I gotta admit, I didn't like it particularly, especially the Jonathan Kent story. I didn't enjoy it all. The Batman versus Robin one, where we have Batman light up in the hospital. I didn't particularly care for this book that much. The Power Girl one, again, I feel like I'm struggling to find a writer that can deliver with Power Girl. Again, such an interesting character. Like, everyone, if you haven't checked out Two Cool Guys About Picks today, check it out. You'll find out about Power Girl. It's a collection of, Tim hit the nail on the head, but the LexCorp is the Lex Luthor one I thought was the best of what's in here. The whole Jonathan Kent trying to stop a kid that's apparently a kid that's been shoplifting through 9 different events already that day, and that's when the Lazarus effect, lack of a better term, happens, and then now they're teammates and they're hanging out with each other. I didn't enjoy that particular part of the story, but it's to each their own. What did you guys think?
Yeah. To give another plug, we will talk about this tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on our next DC Comics deep dive. But I was, I thought this was going to be more of a 40-page, one story with the different characters interacting and somehow getting to where they needed to be, as opposed to 4 10-page stories, because it was a little bit jarring that way. I also thought the Mercy Graves was probably the best. Just I thought it was false advertising to put the blue Superman on the front cover when he doesn't really appear inside. Um,
Yeah, I'm pushing
but
hard for that character. I'm excited. Like I felt
exactly,
excited by the creators on this one.
Mark bought a whole T-shirt just to have it, so that when he read this one, he would
for the
he would
video
have the
tomorrow.
blue. Exactly. And again, the Power Girl one, she basically gets telekinesis. She can now hear things with her mind and everything, and we'll see where that goes in Action Comics 1051. But yeah, it definitely was not one of the stronger DC tie-in issues at all. So I didn't think so.
So going into it, I was aware of the format of the book. Like me and Ryan did that video, kind of looking into what the Lazarus Planet event is going to be, and in that reading the solicitations ahead, it does say that this is going to be. They use the word vinaigrette, something like that. It reminded me of salad dressing. Either way, I knew that it was going to be that word. Yeah. So I knew it was going to be a salad dressing style issue with 4 individual stories, and so I wasn't jarred by that one bit. That being the case, I loved the first one with Dreamer just because it expanded on what happened to Lazarus Planet Alpha. The Dreamer character is super cool. I like going through the dreams. I like dealing with Fate's helmet, giving us context to why they or how all the characters knew. Because in Alpha, they moved fast. They crashed at the Hall of Justice. Damian rallied and they took off. In this, we see they crashed at the Hall of Justice. They got Batman on a bed. They started talking about what in the world is going on. They figured out that they needed to go get the Helmet of Fate. Like you got more context to them planning before they just crashed and took off. So I enjoyed that because knowing that it's kind of like an Alpha and Omega 2-issue story, but with one-shots plugged into the middle, making this a very, very fast event. I like those stories that are adding like between the panel storytelling to what we already know, giving some cool context. I do think the John Kent one was very on brand with John Kent, but like Paul pointed out, I felt like I was lied to. Like I thought that this was going to be the moment he finally emerges as Electric Blue Superman. They've been teasing it for a long time without the Lazarus effect. We've been knowing that this is coming, and I'm very excited for it. Go Electric Blue. That was a thing that happened when I was a kid. Like I was the target market for that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to get to read it as an adult. So I was kind of slighted by that, even though I thought it was a fun story. I think it was cool how it kind of showed his gullibility. So where I don't feel like it really fits into the Lazarus Planet stuff, I feel like that was definitely something that we would have read in his regular title. So it didn't need to be here, but it was on brand. The Mercy Grave story was great. I liked the change that she underwent. I hated how stupid they made Lex Luthor in it. Like Mercy's not there because she's smarter than him. She's there because she's smart and he knows she is, so he keeps her there. But every time he said something, she corrected him, then he corrected her, then got proven wrong. Like, we need to get away from the windows, Mr. Luthor. Oh, I paid more for these windows than 10 people make in a year. They're unbreakable. Then thunder strike and they break. Like, come on, man. Like, that kind of thing happened 3 times back to back with him. Like, he's not stupid. He's like literally one of the smartest people on the planet. Like that, I felt kind of weird about that, but we quickly get past that. Mercy was tough. She took a lightning strike from the Lazarus storm, and it blew her back into Lex's armor. So she fused with him. She now has like cybernetic inside of her. She can shape, shift, and all that stuff with these almost like nanotech cybernetics. Sharp claws out of her fingers. She can form shields on her arms. She can heal herself. I thought that was cool, giving her a nice upgrade, knowing what's happening in the regular Superman title. Because we have Metallo's upgraded. Lex just pulled that major stunt and wiped the world's memory of Clark's secret identity of Superman. Now Mercy has an upgrade. We're up in the ante of every character involved in the Super family right now because Clark's amped up now too. So I think that was kind of a smart move if they play it over there. Like, we're done with that in Lazarus Planet. The Rain got her. Move that story to tell over in Action Comics or something now, and that'd be a smart move. So Power Girl, 100% agree with Chris. That was a waste. They didn't know what to do with her. They didn't know what kind of story to write. So she's falling through a hallucination the whole time. Like, am I dreaming? Like, and it's just, what are we doing here? It's weird. Weird.
I agree. I actually really like the dreamer portion of the story. How like she saw like through Dr. Fate as well that she can't see the future. The future was black. There was no future at all, and they're trying to figure out where Dr. Fate's helmet is and how to obtain it back to give it to the original Dr. Fate. And how she is like going through his dream and trying to figure out where he's at and trying to knock him out of what's going on with him at this time after being defeated by I can't pronounce the name of the villain.
The Devil Nazar.
The Devil Nazar. So I really like that. And then the Superman one, the Superboy one, I like that. The fact that it might play into it that like these people throughout the world might have powers now that didn't have powers before. And it's going to play into that. I feel like that they put it in there for a reason. I feel like it's going to play into the future of like, this is why these characters, like, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad. There's going to be people running around with superpowers and it's going to be destruction around the world.
Yeah, that's a good point because I didn't think of that because I read the Monkey Prince tie-in as well that actually spots like that heavily. But that's really the first glimpse we get of this is affecting everyone and not just our primary characters. So yeah, that's a good point.
So and then the Lex Luthor one, I skimmed through it. I didn't enjoy it as much. Like you guys really enjoyed it. That it kind of felt really quick, and it just kind of pushed right through. The art in it was fantastic. I love how Luthor was drawn, how she was drawn, but it just felt really quick for me.
Yeah. All in all, I'm excited to see the next one. The next is going to be another one with the salad dressing format, but it's going to be focusing on like Shazam, Martian Manhunter, a couple of other characters are going to go to the Thousand Islands and do their thing. But oh, there we go. Chris is getting ready to have to bounce. Just saw it in the private chat. You got to work tonight, my man.
Yeah, I'll be waking up in a few hours, so then I have to go face everyone that works for me as they ask me what happened to the Buffalo Bills, Chris.
Oh no, are they Bills fans or not?
Oh no, they are bandwagon Chief fans. But there is a Cowboys fan, and I got bad news about him too. He might be suffering a bad day as well.
Y'all will probably like share a seat at the lunch table then, huh?
Anyways, thanks for having me on, Mark. Guys, it was good to see you again. All right, guys, have a good week.
Take it easy, man. So what other ones did you hit on your list this week, TM? See if we got any more overlap ones.
I have not. I just caught up on the Justice Society of America. I'm trying to catch up on some stuff, and I'm going to be reading Kingdom Come.
Yes, for the Viking Book Club. You have the copy in hand, right?
In hand, it's over there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll be there for the Comic Viking Club because I do a show that night too. So I'm not sure if it'll overlap at the same time. So. But I plan to do a little review for it for the show and like plug the show a little bit.
Have you read it? Have you started reading it yet?
I flipped through it. The art is freaking amazing.
Don't do that, dude. There's spoilers. Like that book, that's a book that you can literally spoil, like with panels. There's moments like when you're reading it, it is so detailed. Every little panel, every little piece of dialogue, all the metaphors that go into it, all the symbolism, everything. It is a perfectly crafted comic book. You don't want to wait till you go back and like after you read it, we'll talk about it. There are so many little Easter eggs. Like the book is just littered with Easter eggs. This is like God tier comic writing. I might be biased because I've loved it my entire life. I first read it in 3rd grade and it changed the way I looked at comics forever. And yeah, Brother John is another one. This book changed the way that Brother John interacted with comic books as well, in a sense that he read it and he needed to talk about it with people. And he found himself, I hate to tell the story, but he's told it to me, and I've heard him tell it a couple times. He found himself seeking other people, like-minded individuals on the internet, and found a Kingdom Come chat room back in the day when that's like was all you really had. And yeah, Kingdom Come is a different level. Greatest comic story I've ever read. Like there it is. Like I get emotional with it. I mean, it's weird. It's weird.
The other comic I found at my library that I got it getting sent to my library now is the one that you've been pushing on everybody about All-Star Superman. I'm gonna read that too afterwards.
I'll wear a different shirt when you read that one. I'll just put the classic S on, or I'll just put this one on backward for you. Yeah, it's fantastic as well. But yeah, you want to hang out and hear about some books with us still? All the same?
Yeah, for sure. I'm still going to catch up on books that I haven't read this week, but there's some that are too far ahead that I'm just going to trade read.
There's a couple that we don't have overlap on. I'm going to do like quick little splash reviews. So Donny Cates is gone. Abruptly gone. Not going to get into all of that, speculate on that. But Ryan Otley, who has been drawing the Hulk, actually wrote this issue. He should never write a comic again a day in his life. He's not a writer. He proved that with this issue. The dialogue is terrible. When you hear people say like that was flat, or you hear someone say that was good, everyone had their own voice. This is an example of the opposite of everyone having their own voice. I think he might be doing Marvel a favor, trying to fill in to get the rest of these books out. Paul said it only goes to issue number
14, I believe.
So like Donnie, like I said, abruptly gone. So they're having to finish their run. So if Ryan's doing that, kudos to Ryan for stepping up and making it happen to get the books out. So I'm not going to bash him for that by any means, but it was a tough read. It really was. The artwork continues to not be for me. I don't think Otley's doing his best work in here. It translates well to Hulk. I know a lot of people are loving it. Art is to each their own. That cover is pretty cool. Give it that. I love the perspective on it, but it was just a goofy issue with him on this world with all those other Hulks that he's on, and they were just playing a game. That's all. Playing a game. Punisher number 9 came out this week. This is the final issue to that first story arc where we finally get the face-off between Frank Castle and the God of War himself, Ares. Frank bests him in the fight. He goes hard. He goes like real hard in the paint, and the whole time the issue's going, you actually see finally other people besides Daredevil are seeing that something's wrong with Frank. So Daredevil actually was there for an issue and saw firsthand something was wrong with Frank. And you get a scene where you see him talking to someone in the shadows about, we were going to have to do something about this before it becomes a problem. And he's talking to none other than Wolverine. Then later you see Black Widow talking to someone, spreading the word, and it's none other than Captain America. Then you see Moon Knight talking to Doctor Strange. Then you see them all in a room together. So it looks like these people are about to come address the fact that Frank Castle is literally the hand of the demon. He is possessed by an ancient evil deity for the hand. But also on the flip side, we know that this has been an means to an end for him. He was just going down this route to shut down all these crime organizations across the world and then turn that back on the hand. So we don't know if he'll end up doing that, if the resurrection of his wife will be able to keep him in check and under their hand, pun intended, or if these other Marvel heroes are going to have to come in and step up to the plate and try to save him from himself. This could go many different ways, but Jason Aaron is crushing this title. This is such a good book. All right, I think those are the only two we don't overlap, Paul.
Okay, I think I got only one. Did you read this? Or do you read this?
Nightwing, hit it up. I do not. I bought it and I gave it to TJ.
Okay. Then this, I'll go quick, but this is such a good issue. The 4 pages with Dick and Bruce alone are worth the price of admission. It is, Tom Taylor again hits the notes on human interaction between Dick and Bruce. It happens at Alfred's grave. It is just amazing what he does here. But he also resolves the Bloodhaven issue. He brings in the Titans. The Titans basically, their headquarters is now going to be in Bloodhaven. So they're building a new Titans Tower in Bloodhaven.
That's huge.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, if if you don't read those 4 pages between Bruce and Dick, and it doesn't bring a tear to your eye, you're a little bit dead inside. But then I think the other 3 I have, I think, are ones that we both have. So
Monkey Prince, Flash, and Iron Man.
Yep.
So then I'll hit Black Adam real quick. I have been reading Christopher Priest, Black Adam. We have Malik just still searching and trying to find a cure to the virus that they have. You see him having to team up with Mirror Master along his search. It kind of goes a little awry for a little while. And then you see it's just a weird issue. He's just on the journey to try to find a cure, and he's going through weird routes to get there. Christopher Priest is writing a very overly complex book at this point. It's not very straightforward. It kind of hops around too much. You kind of lose your pacing really easily with it, but I'm very interested in the story that's being told. There's just not a lot of meat on the bone, if that makes sense. There's a lot there. There's a lot of bone, but not a lot of meat, if that makes sense. He's putting a lot into these books, but you don't need most of it at all. It's really not bringing or adding much else to the story right now. Mm-hmm. Writing a long book just for it to be long. I don't know.
Although we have Bolt now.
Yeah, he renamed himself Bolt after trying out a couple of different names. Everyone kept mistaking him for the little cartoon dog that John Travolta voiced.
Right.
Okay. A little cross Disney promotion there. Mm-hmm. Was that Disney? I think that was Disney, wasn't it? Disney.
It was Disney, but this is not Marvel, so it's like I don't know why they're promoting Bolt.
Yeah. They owed someone a favor.
Exactly.
What do you want to do next? We got Iron Man, Flash, and Monkey Prince. TM, you want to hear what's going on with this 1 minute war inside of Flash?
Sure. And where's a good jumping on point for this current Flash right now?
Issue 790. This is 791. It's coming out weekly during this 1 minute war. So last week, 790 came out, and this week, 791. Next week, I believe, 792 until it's over. I don't know how many issues it is. Maybe 6, maybe 8.
Yeah, it actually it's supposed to come out twice a month, but for some reason it came out 2 weeks in a row. I think one of the issues was late. So, but yeah, it's I think it's over by it goes around 790 to 795, I believe. So
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's super cool. You have this alien race called the Fraction. And they go around invading places and destroying planets for their resources, and they're doing it with the use of hyper time. They do have access to the Speed Force, it looks like, and so they come and they land on Earth. Everything on Earth looks like it's frozen, but it's not. Just all the speedsters are still able to move and operate, and everyone else is slowed down. So it's just them against an entire alien invasion where the rest of the world is completely unaware of it happening. We had a huge kicker at the last page of that first issue, because when they land with a big bang. They crash into the planet, causing an explosion, death to millions. And it looks like one of the casualties was none other than Iris Allen herself. The last issue ended with Barry holding her in his arms in the rubble, reminiscent of Batman and Robin back in the day. And in this issue, we get everyone kind of catching up in the rubble and trying to get their bearings and figure out what's happening.
Newsflash, Iris is still dead through this entire issue.
Yeah, for the 7 seconds this issue takes place. I have a feeling that it's going to be like one of those things that she's not dead. It's just that we're in between her heartbeats, if that makes sense. That's my speculation.
That could be entirely true.
Because if we're all moving at hyperspeed and your heart's beating only so fast, that definitely, they do stuff in between heartbeats all the time.
Right. Oh, then why wouldn't they think everybody was dead?
Maybe because they weren't in an explosion. He pulled her out of the rubble. Everything he's doing is at hyperspeed. Everyone else is just standing there, kind of. Right. But we do get to see them interact and fight with some of the aliens. The aliens have realized that there's a couple of speedsters on this planet. They make the observation. That's normal. We always run into one here or there. They're like, no, there's 7 in this one city. They're like, oh, crap, release the Kraken. And that's what we get with Miss Murder. They release this character on the last page. He always has like a Batman Who Laughs style helmet, some crazy hellhound looking creatures.
It could be like the Batman Who Laughs wife almost.
Yeah. The Barbara Who Laughs.
The Barbara Who Laughs.
The Selena Who Meows. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. So they ended off with the releasing of her. We don't get to see her in action or anything yet, but Miss Murder and Mayhem is on the way in the next issue to try to put away this pesky speedster problem that the fraction is having on the planet.
And there are allusions, or people are alluded to slaves. There's an allusion to a wedding that's going to be going on. That supposedly is supposedly all that's going to happen in the one, because there's, besides these 6 issues, there is a 1-minute war special as well that's going to happen as well.
Yeah, it says, do you see these events? Check out the 1-minute war special, which it's another one of those things where we're seeing the timing of these books are not where they're all supposed to be. And we've talked about that with DC kind of resetting their continuity, not resetting their continuity, but bringing in their continuity a little bit with the Crisis thing. A lot of books are starting with After Crisis, After Dark Crisis, after this, after Action 1050. They're trying to get everything lined up and worked in together. We saw a couple books that said these events see Monkey Prince issue 9, and at the time it hadn't been released. We were seeing a few of those where they're trying to get their schedule back on track. So,
right,
yeah,
but that brings up an interesting problem with this one. Because although this is it was alluded to go to the Monkey Prince 10 at the end of the Lazarus Planet Alpha, this actually takes place before Lazarus Planet Alpha.
Yeah, literally, this is the prequel to Lazarus Planet Alpha. You see how Monkey Prince and Supergirl end up together, and why they even go to the Hall of Justice to call in the characters that were there.
Yeah, just a huge fun story. It starts off with the Ultrahumanite fighting Supergirl. Monkey Prince comes in. Supergirl basically says, you have to be on the Ultrahumanite side because, you both basically look like monkeys for the most part, or gorillas or apes. Takes some convincing. Finally, he convinces her that he is not on the side of the Ultrahumanite. He gets blasted by the Ultrahumanite, ends up in pieces, puts himself back together, but not anatomically correct, meaning his legs are backwards to his torso. And we go from there, where Supergirl then combines with or teams up with the Monkey Prince. They defeat the Ultrahumanite, but while they're fighting, this Lazarus planet reign starts. Starts doing some things to some of the weapons that the Ultrahumanite brought with them. And also does some things to Supergirl's powers as well, because not only does it give people powers or change people, but also has the ability to take away some powers as well. And that's basically what's going to happen to Supergirl. We jump to the Monkey Prince's grandfather, who is the human vessel that the Ultrahumanite had been using. And he basically, while they're talking, the Monkey Prince starts getting a little itch on his head, which was an effect from the Lazarus rain, because it was kind of tingling when he was fighting the Ultrahumanite and the rain was hitting him. So he goes to de-infest him, or
de-lice,
basically, yeah.
In the process, he's scratching, and these little miniature clones are the reaction of him scratching, popping off of him. And so you have this. First off, this comic is hilarious. This was my first issue of Monkey Prince, and it's nothing but jokes from start to finish, and they land. Guest starring characters the whole time, apparently. But yeah, you see the side effects of the Lazarus rain. It's causing him to spring clones of himself all over the place. Just these little chibi-looking Monkey Princes everywhere. It was wild.
And so we end up with as part of the Lazarus rain, it actually affected one individual who started growing snakes, like a Medusa head, and so he started causing problems, and so the Supergirl was fighting him, but the Monkey Prince comes along, sends all of these like mini Monkey Princes, clones, out to help fight. But then he basically takes a staff that he pulls out of his ear,
It's so
full
weird.
size,
It's so
right?
weird.
And he starts swinging it around. And he says, "You must have heard of me. I'm the monkey. I'm the mother flipping monkey prince."
Yeah, when you say all this stuff out loud, it sounds absolutely bizarre, and it is. But it all, like I said, it all lands. Like to his point, like how he came to back up Supergirl. She had went to Metropolis because she could hear like chaos happening. We get a look at an entire city that's been rained on, and it's not just one person who's like mutated into a Medusa thing. The entire city is mutated and in chaos, and she has her powers fluctuating and just is overwhelmed when he gets there. Like this. Like how TM, you mentioned how we're getting to see the effects of this rain hitting people over in the Superman story. We see it in this one as well on kind of like a bigger scale. So the world is in chaos immediately, and this is where they give us that first bigger picture glimpse of it.
Mhm.
It was pure chaos.
Right. Right, and to the point where she loses her powers to even fly, and so she ends up on Monkey Prince's cloud, and he gives her a lift to where they're going.
The
So
thing that's out loud is crazy. He rides a cloud. That's how he
right,
gets around. This character is bananas,
Mhm.
but in the best way possible. It's like ambush bug level enjoyment.
Mhm.
He's never serious, off the wall in everything he's doing, but it's ridiculously fun.
Right. Back at his grandfather's lab, his grandfather has basically, with the help of some magic and then some of the Lazarus, he has basically recreated the Phantom Crystal Lens, and he's going to use that to open up the Phantom Zone to get the ancient monkey god, out of the Phantom Zone, so that the Ultra Humanite can take possession of him.
So I guess that's
then
probably going to continue in the Monkey Prince title over the Lazarus Planet title, I'm assuming.
right. And then the last 2 pages are basically, the Monkey Prince and Supergirl getting to the Hall of Justice, and basically the last panel, the splash page, is basically the very first panel, or one of the first panels from Lazarus Planet Alpha. So that's how they tie together.
Yeah, it tied together really smooth in that one. Like you see how Monkey Prince gets involved, the need to go and regroup at the Hall of Justice, which you pointed out is in fantastic shape.
Right. Considering what happened to Dark Crisis.
Yeah. And I think the last one that I have on my list, the last one I have is Invincible Iron Man #2. This is the one that I picked up issue 1, and I was really excited about. Absolutely loved it. This issue really didn't do a lot for me. Now, I did talk to a friend of mine who picked it up after hearing our recommendation from it. And he gave me a different perspective on it because he hasn't been reading Iron Man, neither have I. He hasn't been reading Avengers, neither have I. And this was a massive information dump that he really enjoyed, in the sense like we find out that Riri is in possession of the Mandarin's 10 rings. You really still get to see the state of affairs with a lot of characters and like the characters that would be close to them. So it was a great information dump as far as like carrying the same momentum from the first one. I didn't really feel it. It kind of I don't know what the purpose of this issue was, because we kind of end it where we started, with Tony just kind of by himself, having survived another attack. We pretty much see Riri just come to him at the start of this issue to come check on him after the events of the first one. They kind of have some dialogue about her having possession of the 10 rings and needing to turn them over or bury them or put them in a safe place, and her assuring him that they are safe with her. And then a breakout occurs of the living laser at Tony's old factory, I think it was. It was one of his business properties. And they have to go there and fight the living laser. They end up besting him, of course. And they had to do it by kind of showing him that it wasn't Tony that put him there. He was under the false pretense that Tony had kidnapped him, put him there, and experimented on him. And it does, from his own memory, seem like that's what happened. So whoever's out to get Tony has got some pretty impressive means to do it. And it looks like they're trying to ruin his legacy and him on a personal level in the process of it. But like I said, by the end of it, Riri's off again to do her own thing. The cover billed it as a fight against Tony and Riri, one-on-one against Ironheart. That didn't happen in the issue. They were just teamed up the whole time. So I don't understand that aspect. There's a lot of false advertising of covers this week, but each their own. I'm still going to hang in there for a few more issues and see what's what with this. But I'm excited to see what this mystery is. They're building out a decent mystery. What is going on in Callie's Comics? But yeah, Paul, what did you think of this issue?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, obviously the big mystery is who is going around, or who it seems as though who is going around impersonating Tony Stark, and orchestrating all of this. That's the big mystery for everybody, because at the very end there is another murder that supposedly we believe will be committed by a Tony Stark. So, but basically, the person who I guess was on the board of Tony's old, in one of his supporters from that was on the board, basically has a hole blown directly through him and through his seat that he was sitting in all the way back to the wall. So there's another murder that we think will probably be blamed on Tony Stark. And so, that's the whole thing is, who is doing this? And so we'll find out eventually. So.
And we'll see where it goes. That last run, I was excited to dive in and get in some Iron Man, and it only took a couple issues for me to tuck her out of it. I'm hoping this one does not do that. I hope it maintains, because right now I've got a couple of Marvel titles on my list, and I do get excited to get to hang out and have fun reading these characters and stuff. They for some reason cannot just carry a title with these characters these days. Hulk is just trash. A lot of them, I mean, I don't want to say they're bad. They just don't really deliver on the par and level of what we're seeing with the indies, and even with DC. I know a lot of people enjoy the Marvel characters more from their experience or getting introduced through them, be it TV or this or that. But as far as the straight storytelling goes, like from the big two, Marvel has got a lot of catching up to do. They really do. But yeah, Sector said he'll be right back, and that's pretty much the last one for the night. TM, what do you have coming up?
I do want to touch on a comic that you guys haven't really touched on, and it's coming out. It's this week. It's coming out. Dead Boy Detectives. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this. It's a great story. I'm absolutely loving this. It's Charles and Edwin. They're dead. They're dead boy detectives. They get assigned a case. They're trying to find out. A kid really comes to them and says, "There's this missing girl," which leads them to this one area. It's this one school. Come to find out that for some odd reason, she's a ghost now. She's a Thai ghost, which is, they have a little different powers. Like one has like she has a hollow chest. The other one has like a snake head that comes out. And what's happening around town is that there's these murders that are happening, and they're trying to figure it out. So you got the ghost girl there. That's her. You got the other one that has like a snake type of head. And then there's a few others. So another thing that's different between Thai Ghost and Edwin and Charles is that Thai Ghosts are nocturnal. They disappear during the day. But this one ghost that's going around, what happens to this ghost is it actually turns into a human. So it's a human during the day, walks around like a human, but at night it becomes this malevolent demon.
Wow.
that's after people, and like literally is taking off their heads. And so it's very, very interesting, to say the least. And it all plays back to this witch that's planning something for
what
this
issue
world.
Number is that?
This is just issue number 1. So issue 2 comes out this Tuesday.
Now, did you see their appearance on Doom Patrol?
Yes.
Nice.
They're supposed to get their own TV show as well, but different actors.
And they're attached to the Sandman universe imprint.
Yes.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman created them in the original Sandman.
I think it was Sandman 26, wasn't it?
I'm not sure the number, but
I remember seeing them in the
Hey, Paul.
Doom Patrol episode, but then I did read because I've been keeping up with Sandman. I think I'm on volume 4 or 5 now of the Sandman. So like I got introduced to their story, like their first appearance in that, and how they became who they are in that story. So
nice.
But I recommend this book. I know Mark was asking some books like that we'd recommend, and I'd recommend this. You could easily just jump into it. Not much to know. There's something going on with Charles I think it was Charles in that. And I think he had like a breakup or something from a certain character, and that'll probably get fleshed out in future issues. But I'm not sure who the writer is. I can't pronounce the name, but I've never heard of this writer.
Give it your best shot. It says porn sack. Is that what it says? Porn sack? Like legit?
Yeah, porn sack. Pitch it shut.
Someone's parents were cruel. I immediately thought of Gaylord Fokker from Meet the Parents. Porn sack.
But that's about it for reading purposes. Other than that, have you guys watched The Hunters? That Prime Video show. It's on season 2. It's like all about it's a fictional story, but like kind of based on true events, like how when the World War II ended, they brought over some Nazis to America and gave them regular jobs and stuff.
Yeah, Operation Paperclip.
But this one, it's like a bunch of Jewish people got together to hunt these Nazis. And it's a very, very interesting story. Like if you watch the first episode, you'll be hooked. But season 2 just dropped all of its episodes, and it was just freaking-tastic.
That sounds interesting. So it's playing on like the real historical events.
Yeah,
I'm going to check that out. So Paul and I do have a video that's going to be premiering. What time? What day?
10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Over on Sector 2815, episode 2 of season 2 of the DC Comics Deep Dive, where we go into more detail on the Lazarus Planet, Assault on Krypton, as well as the Monkey Prince. And tomorrow I do have a video coming out as well. I'm actually going over to look and see what it is right now. It is some stuff I got from the DC Universe Infinite app. They do have a shop tab over on that app. Picked up some stuff from there. They have some really cool stuff. Talk about that a little bit and show some of the stuff I picked up from there. And TM, what do you got going on this week on your channel?
Well, we got Norn Rad joining us for Between the Lines on my channel tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to be doing Looney Tunes, but in the style of horror.
Who's your favorite Looney Tune?
My favorite Looney Tunes, I'd have to say, I like the Tiny Toons more. So I have to say the Dodo from Tiny Toons.
Okay. Hadn't heard that one before. I'll ask you again next time I see you, just to make sure.
Yeah, that guy's not been around for a while.
He's still cranking out videos. I follow him.
Yeah.
He actually has one of the coolest hashtags I've ever seen. It's Stay Tuned. TOONS. Stay Tuned or ED.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, how that's pretty witty. He did a legit proper shout out for Nick's Kicks and Comics. Like, yeah. He's rocking and rolling. He's featuring some South Park stuff on there now too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, yeah, we have that, me and Roscoe over on my channel. Tuesday, we'll be doing Roscoe's Late Night Addiction, which will be on his channel and my channel at the same time.
How do you do
that? We share StreamYards.
It's interesting. Which one should we watch it on?
His. I'm trying to push him, get him a little bit more recognition in that, push him up to 500 subs. He just got to 400 subs, so now we're trying to get him to 500. And then Wednesday, I'm going to go live just to show off a few trade paperbacks I picked up, a few comics I picked up, and what I got from Retro Rocket Comics.
Nice. Oh, are you able to go shop there local as well? Or is it kind of a...
No, I ordered from them.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. All right, well, Finn wants to watch something else, and he's come asking me when to go to bed. So we're about to wrap it up. It's about 10:30. I'm going to hop off here, go check out The Last of Us Episode 2 that is now available to be watched on HBO Max. If you want to tell Trav and Paul good night.
Good night, and we are these.
You remember those from the Happy Meal toys back in like 94, 95? Yeah. Hey, Miss So, how are you? Thank you for the show. As always, gents, good night. Appreciate it. So, yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. I appreciate everybody hanging out, watching.
So.
That's her right there. See? People can type on their computers, and it pops up right here. The people that can watch, they can type on there and talk to us while they're watching. You should tell them to watch your videos. You've been putting up the little Avatar YouTube short videos, remember?
What kind?
What do you mean what kind? You're in them. You made them. When we open up the little mystery rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we do one tonight?
We can't do one tonight, but we can do one tomorrow. I put the one up today that me and Emma did. See?
It was an actual person.
Yeah.
Monkey did the posting.
Yeah, Monkey did not. Monkey got the horse. Emma got the one with the actual person in there. Yeah, the last one that you did, Finn, got over 2,000 views. It's a lot of people watched it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are these for those writings?
It's just writing on them, but people know what's in the video. Catwoman, everything's yummy. He's back to eating everything. He's eating Chewbacca's crossbow right now. You supposed to be eating those? No. All right. Well, thank y'all for coming in, hanging out, watching Finn eat toys. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we
A shoe toy.
are two toys.